But I don't have a problem with what
Yeah,
Deion
he got
Sanders
beat
said.
down for that comment.
Yeah, I don't have a problem. People always beating people down for stuff. Speaking of beat downs, this dude
supposedly has a girlfriend, y'all. Research and see. He says he has a female he's been dating.
I told you I felt like all of the guys that's in the
Republican
and the Democrat, I think all of them are gay. That's my opinion.
Really?
I'm not basing that on anything. I just think they are.
I don't think they're
well,
gay.
I am basing it on something.
First of all, I've never. I just don't think he's telling the truth.
They are.
That he's involved in a real relationship.
They know. It's like pastors and ministers. They can't say anything. Mm-hmm. Or people in
so
church.
They're closet.
Their closet. The gospel artists. They can't verbally, but everybody can see it. It's like, but they verbally can't say it because I don't know what is going on with our world, but as long as you don't say it,
it's understood.
It's like everybody can say it, but as long as you don't say it, then that's fine.
We don't speak about
Isn't that something?
It's an unhidden something. It's like the elephant in the room, and we just ignore it.
Just don't say it. If you say it, then everybody has to now we gotta deal with it. Which to me it shouldn't matter, but that's just how people are. Human nature, I guess.
It's true.
Tim Scott. Well, the only reason why I'm talking about this not because of his buzzer teeth, beaver teeth. He looks like a beaver. Okay. Not because of him, and I used to like him. You notice I call people names once I don't like them anymore.
Past that that line where you're now saying.
So if you watch our show and you say she always talking about people,
you say he's a bubblehead.
I talk about people once they come off my list of liking them.
Were you always liking bobblehead Candace? Did you like her before?
But I didn't talk about her.
Oh, okay.
But a lot of people, like I like Nikki Haley right now. Now, if I stop liking her, I'm going to find a name for her.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
But anyway, and then I didn't know she was involved in this. But let's see what this is me pulling this article up. So let's all look at it at the same time. NBC News, CNBC News. Tim Scott and Nikki Haley attack the unions as the United Auto Workers strike threatens to escalate ahead of the GOP debates. Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina said striking workers should be fired, pointing to President Ronald Reagan's termination of striking air traffic controllers. Former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley on Tuesday has proclaimed she is a union buster. Former President Donald Trump is courting the UAW endorsement while at the same time attacking the union leadership.
He's supposed to be showing up at the thing, isn't he?
The UAW strike could escalate ahead of the Republican primary debate next week. Well, Donald Trump knows how to do both sides. He plays both sides.
The union leaders saying we don't want politics in this. They all saying please stay away.
Well, they have to because they have to make everything political.
They was like, please stay away.
Just like some people in our comment section. Everything is political. I post, name something you don't want to step on in the middle of the night. Most of us say Jack's, toys.
A Lego toy.
Of course, some people say, I don't want to step on a Democrat. I don't want to step on a Republican. Name
what are
something.
they doing in your house?
It could be anything. Name some. Give me a question. Name whatever.
Name a color that you do not like wearing.
I don't want to wear blue because that's the liberal Democrat color. You couldn't catch me in red because that's the fascist Republican color.
Name a hairstyle that you really enjoyed wearing.
I really enjoy wearing a beehive until I found out that Hillary Clinton with her liberal self wore a beehive 30 years ago. So now I no longer like them. So
everything is politics.
Everything is politics.
I don't get it. This is everyday life. That means that you're absorbed in this whole politics
absolutely ridiculous.
That if your answers to everyday life situation is politics, then you really need to take a break.
Everything.
A vacation.
Everything.
Away from social media, away from TV. Don't listen to no news.
So, of course, they're going to bring this into politics.
Wow.
Everything has to be political.
Well, you know what? Everyone wants
You want turkey for Thanksgiving?
Think about this
Thanksgiving? No. Because the Democrats, because of them, no one can afford a turkey.
Yeah. But think about this. It makes sense. If any of these candidates, even at Vivek Ramaswamy, If they can meet and involve themselves in this whole UAW thing, and it helps.
Yeah,
that's their commercial for life.
And I will always make fun of his name, Akuma Makata.
Ramaswamy.
Akuma Makata. Because he said racism, is a unicorn. White supremacy is a unicorn.
It's like a unicorn.
So Kemosabe, I don't want to hear from him. I haven't heard from him anymore.
I haven't heard. What's
going
on?
He disappeared.
Where's he at? He's not on the stage.
Akuma Matata's not here anymore.
Where's the spotlight at? Come on, hey.
Because he got beat up.
Watch me.
You know why, don't you? Because he loved Trump so much, and then everybody started digging up all these old tweets of him, dogging him out, and Trump said, "Get off my land." All right. Several Republican presidential candidates have gone on the attack against the unions in response to the United Auto Workers strike, despite strong support for organized labor among the American public. The two GOP candidates who have taken the hardest line are from South Carolina, a state with a notorious and anti-union reputation. The Palmetto State has become a hub for foreign automakers that have taken advantage of the South's lower labor costs. That's why. So they make a lot of foreign cars in the South. Yeah, so it would make sense that they would be against the American strikers. Mm-hmm. Senator Tim Scott on Monday said striking workers should be fired, saying he would emulate President Ronald Reagan, who terminated more than 11,000 striking air traffic controllers in 1981. Ronald Reagan gave us a great example when federal employees decided they were going to strike, Scott told voters in Iowa. He said, "You strike, you're fired." Simple.
That sounds like Reagan would do that.
You know.
You strike, you fired.
Nancy and I discussed it. If you strike, you're fired.
Get out of here.
So I guess he wasn't for actor striking, I guess. That's before his time.
You know what? Yeah, because he's an actor.
Him and that monkey.
God
that he wasn't. The monkey would strike too.
That's a good one.
President Ronald Reagan. Okay, all right. To the extent that we can use that once again, he said, absolutely. Former Governor Nikki Haley on Tuesday proclaimed she was a union buster, pointing to her record of recruiting foreign car manufacturers such as Mercedes-Benz and Volvo to her state. I didn't want to bring in companies that were unionized simply because I didn't want to have that change the environment of our state, Haley said during an interview with Fox News. Haley said President Joe Biden had emboldened this strike by proclaiming is the most pro-union president in American history. He is one of the most pro-union presidents in history.
For the union labor.
She said the striking auto workers' demands for 40% pay raise will drive up prices.
40%.
40%.
That's what they want. And I believe the leadership of the car places, they were saying 20 or something. It wasn't 40. They said 40? We don't have 40. We don't have that amount to give you guys. Why are they asking for 40?
Scott and Haley are taking a hard line against organized labor despite the fact that 2/3 of Americans approve of unions, according to a Gallup poll. Most of us do approve of unions because we feel like a lot of these companies will take advantage of you if you don't.
A union protection.
But we also believe that you can't ask for something that's just unrealistic.
But that's the scary thing, because when I watched the teachers, the Chicago public school, when it's been known that they would strike every year. People would be just waiting for them to strike. Are you guys going to strike again? Mm-hmm. And you sit and you, as a union, part of that union, you're hoping and praying that we're negotiating for the better deals, but it's not over the top.
Right.
Where, like Reagan would have done.
Right.
Where we are let go. They won't care about us.
It says Scott and Haley are taking a hard line against organized labor despite the fact that 2/3 of Americans approve of unions. The UAW strike also enjoys solid support, with 54% of U.S. adults approving the work stoppage, according to a Morning Consult poll. The auto workers' strike could escalate ahead of the Republican primary debate next week at the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library.
The 25th, I think.
Let's see. Well, Trump, for his part, is skipping the second debate. We already know that.
You don't need to go to any of
to
them.
visit Detroit and speak with the union members.
Yeah,
Trump is courting a UAW endorsement while at the same time attacking the union leadership. He's an idiot.
Isn't he?
Why would they support you?
Thank you. If you have any attack against them, why would they shake your hand and say,
the
come
auto
on
workers are being sold down the river by their leadership, and their leadership should endorse Trump, the former president told NBC News. Trump claimed that Biden push to transition to electric vehicles will result in manufacturing jobs shifting to China. That I agree with. If Biden on one hand, that's why I told you I don't really like him either. On one hand, you love the union, you supporting the union, the auto workers and all this. And then on the other hand, you're pushing for electric cars where the batteries are made in China. So if we all do go to electric cars, these guys don't lose their jobs anyway.
I know with AI, they'll lose their jobs too. Future.
First of all, I don't know why I always have to say this. The same thing I said with the writer's strike. I'm torn between striking because you have a giant robot standing behind you,
waiting.
Just
to take
think of Terminator 2, and you complaining about something, and Terminator 2 is standing behind you.
We were talking the other day about the type of jobs out there that if they strike, it would be a big problem.
Yeah.
And one of them is the garbage collectors for the city.
Yeah, we won't even look at that.
We really got to sit and go, ooh,
yeah. There's some people,
Lord, you can't have the garbage on the street.
There's some people who can never strike.
They can't strike. They go in there with their union and they'll go, whatever you want.
Yeah, whatever you want. But
I was asking you about the car thing, this whole UAW. First of all, we got so many cars that's on car lots. Is it enough if they never come back to work again?
Right.
People buy foreign cars.
Well, that's what Nikki Haley and them are saying. Well,
you got Hondas and whatever.
Justice for All is saying he obviously knows nothing about collective bargaining rights. That's where I said I'm torn. Because I do believe in unions and striking in the sense that one person going into the office and yelling, nobody cares about what you say. But if all of us collectively go in and say something, then people will listen to you. You have a bigger voice. But the problem you have is, are they going to call your bluff? Are you bluffing as far as striking? How long are you willing to strike? Mm-hmm. And if they do replace you, was it worth it?
Well, the union dues that they take from everybody is paying them. It's not as much, of course, that they do get a little payment while they're on this strike thing. But to your point, as part of a union, you have to trust that your leadership is speaking on your behalf. So that part,
I agree with Comover. You could be, the workers could be right in what they're feeling, but are the leaders telling them what they want to hear, or are they telling them something realistic? In other words, if we're saying we're all going to be firemen or whatever, and we want to go on strike, all the firemen in the world go on strike, and the leadership says yes, and the firefighters are saying we want 40% more. We've looked at the books, we saw that they made blank, 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 and we want a piece of that. We want some of that money. Mm-hmm. And the leadership is saying, okay, well, if that's what y'all want, we're going to go in and get. Mm-hmm. Or are they standing in front of them saying, just so you know, they're really looking to replace all y'all with an AI. This might not be a good time to ask for. They're taking all that extra money that they're getting and they're building up robots to do your job.
I don't think they are, because being part of a union, mm-hmm. you do have your private conversations as union.
Right.
They tell you what the agenda is going to be,
right,
and what they're going to be discussing.
Right.
And they want everybody. If they have
the leaders
questions,
don't tell them what to think.
The leaders are listening to the workers. They listen to all of us. They come back like the Chicago school public school
and
thing,
say this is what they
said they can give us. Okay. Instead of 40, they can say 25.
Okay.
Where's everybody on there? No, we want to.
But do they tell them? But do they tell them? I know it looks like they can give you 40, but the real thing is they won't.
They give you realistic.
Okay.
They put you on a path to be realistic on what we can possibly get because of this is what they made.
Right.
This is what they've been giving us.
Yes.
Oh, that's a big gap. And they can give us the 40.
And do they tell you if they replace you and fire you like Reagan did?
Well, they're not going to say that.
Are you going to be okay with that?
I guess they do prepare you for the worst.
Do they prepare you for the worst? That's kind of what I'm saying.
I think they do.
As long as
they don't meet our needs with it,
then
what's the worst that can happen to our union?
Then we're out.
They can dissolve us. I don't know legally, can they?
No, I'm saying fire you.
I don't think they legally can fire you.
Then how did Reagan fire you?
Don't they? I don't know how. I think he threatened them, didn't he?
No, he fired them. I remember
that. He fired union people.
I remember that. I remember when the airline strike and he fired all of them.
Well, you guys tell me who have understanding with unions.
Was that because it was airline and maybe that's more U.S. or something? Government? I don't know.
That's a good question because how much as a union legally.
Is it legally? Can they legally fire everybody that strikes?
Exactly.
Can they legally fire you if you strike? If y'all know the answer to that, comment down below.
Like if you are on strike and the union is representing you.
Can you be fired?
Can you be fired by that? By who though? Because he's the president.
No, the CEO of the company.
No, I'm saying did he do it because he's a commander?
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Like the CEO of that company has no leg to stand on.
But the government can fire.
The government can step in.
I don't know.
That's a good question.
Well, the government, I'm sure for the airline, because that affects us.
It does.
That directly affects us getting from part 1 A to B.
Maybe it's
and that's different. Giant head Tim Scott. You keep using Ronald Reagan as an excuse. The airline strike is different. People have to go see their families. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff going on that people got to get from point A to point B, where the president would have to step in and say something. You don't just speak for a company, which means he does take the company side over the worker side. And Nikki Haley basically told you she does. She said, I didn't want any of that in my state, so I hired all foreign car makers.
Wow.
I don't even agree with the Now, does she not agree with all unions? Or just car unions? That's the question they need to ask her on the stage when she's up there. Do you believe in teachers' unions?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Don't just take.
I'm part of a union with
work at home
with the health care. Yeah.
So my thing is,
wow.
The question to ask them at the Republican debate: are you anti-union? Or are you anti-United Auto Workers Union?
Okay.
That's two different answers to that question.
Yeah, because they did mention on the news briefly that some foreign car plate dealers foreign car companies are manufactured here as well, where the union hurt them. And they said not really right now because they have a lot in stock right now to cover the cars that are being produced on their end.
And I worked at a car company.
You worked at a foreign car company.
No. Oh, yeah, German. And some of the parts went to American cars.
Yeah.
So they could just keep producing parts. That's what my assumption is.
One thing that you told me, she used to work for a German company other than the car dealer. They had a different healthcare. I'm saying...
Oh, yeah. They changed to Mexican.
Foreign companies, a lot of times in our country,
yes,
they will carry on their health care and everything else like that country does.
Exactly.
Because her health care was totally different than mine.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who you working? They're German.
They're German company.
And I'm like, oh my God. Stationed in Illinois, in the States.
And they also gave a lot of money.
Yeah.
When the company was doing well, they paid out a lot of money.
a lot of money.
So that's what my question would be to Nikki Haley and to Giant Head. Well, he said something. I don't like him.
Okay.
But my question to Nikki Haley, I don't even want to ask him nothing. Okay. But I've been looking at Nikki Haley lately.
Exactly.
So my question is to Nikki Haley,
what's her stand?
Are you an anti-union or are you anti-car union? the United Auto Workers, because you don't like their leadership, what Trump is saying, and how they you don't like the way that they running things.
Okay.
Or are you anti-union, period? That would be my question that I would have.
That's a good one, because this is dealing with the UAW specifically.
Justice, Emerald says, hey ladies. Hey. Justice Frost says it depends on their contracts, on whether they can be fired.
That's what I'm saying, because I don't know what Reagan had involved in that airline one.
Yeah.
But because it's airline and it affects the country, the world, I don't know. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Their contracts probably would state that.
Well, it says Pence echoes Trump's links UAW strikes to Biden's electric push. Good for Beijing, bad for Detroit, which is what I'm saying ultimately.
Yeah.
Which is why I think that Biden needs to stay out of it.
But why can't we have the same? Why does things have to be created in China? Why can't we duplicate that here?
Well, now you sound like a Republican.
But no, it's a very good question.
You're right.
Because if you got the foundation,
it's cheaper.
See, we so cheap. We
no. If you got somebody working for $1.50 an hour,
we going. I didn't like when my old company would do offshore. They would have our customer service people. Well, we're not really our customer service people. That's what we shined on.
Right.
We kept that in the country.
Right.
But a lot of stuff was offshore.
Everything is. I laugh because we drive for Uber and
Uber's offshore
and Grubhub. And now remember that one old lady? She was so mad. I'm gonna call and write down. Well, go ahead, sister. They're located in India.
She was gonna call and report us.
You're not reporting. Okay, let's do a public service announcement, because I always have to do an Uber Eats public service announcement to people and Grubhub.
Okay,
all right.
Uber may be changing because all the commercials like P. Diddy and all of them are.
You guys, we drive for all of them. Our boss is a computer
offshore.
No, is a computer.
Oh well.
Okay.
Offshore though answers.
And there's like 2 or 3 guys at the top who created Uber. They're the billionaires. They rake all the money in, right? And they click a little button, and the button says react and go out and deliver this food. And restaurant, you click a little button, which means you got the order. And then you click a little button saying you're going to pick up the order. And then you click a little button saying you're going to drop it off. And then you guys come in at the end, the people. You click a little button. Oh, great. Everything was wonderful. Even when you say it wasn't, nobody cares. Now, unless 100 people,
it has to be a lot of
say
people.
That's a horrible driver.
Yes,
nobody.
Restaurant is just not doing it.
We've heard drivers cuss people out. We've heard drivers
steal people's food.
We've called people and say, "Do you have a tip for me?" And the person will say, "What?"
And don't come.
And they say, "I'm not bringing your food if you don't have a tip."
We've had our foods taken.
So it's a computer, guys. Yeah. And when we call for an issue, India always picks up.
They're offshore.
I've called and heard chickens in the background.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, yes. Hello. Yeah. Okay. So restaurant closed. Yeah. Can you cancel this order and take it off of my screen? Oh, okay. Yes. I'll push button. Hold on.
Chickens in the background.
So when that old lady who we had 2 weeks ago was fussing because we had to drive over to the blacktop to get into an old senior citizen building. Right. You guys are driving and we couldn't do anything. The lane. I'm going to call Uber and complain. And I gave her a first, last name, everything you need, lady.
And the phone number.
And I told her to take a picture. And we stood there and smiled. I said, you want to do a video so you can have both?
Right. Lady, you are not going to get anywhere. And especially with her complaint.
Thank you.
It was basically, we were blocking a street to let food off for an older person.
Who couldn't go out into the thing.
Oh, Lord help us.
But anyway, I agree. Everything is going foreign.
Yeah.
Nobody, talking about why things.
We're trying to do everything America.
Nah.
America grown, America labels, America bring things back into our country and quit doing things offshore because it's all money related.
Well, we'll see.
Because that's control. That's giving them more control in these countries. So, but
I told you China owned half our country.
I know.
That's why I laugh when people keep making fun of China and stuff. And I'm sitting there going, you guys really don't realize how much China owns, do you?
Yes. In
but
Japan.
Anyway, I think people, they don't know. They don't know
because they don't about it.
They don't see it on CNN or Fox News.
Until you
so they don't understand. They're not even thinking of right now there's a war going on in Russia. Like in their minds, it's so
you can only absorb so much though.
They can't, if I was to sit and go, you do realize that NATO is firing on Russia and that buildings and gas stations is blowing up. It's so foreign to them because it's not on CNN and Fox News and MSNBC every morning. So it's not called in their minds until there's a headline that says World War III. They don't believe that it's World War III.
Trump is thinking World War II. They laughed at him today.
He thinks that it's World War II and he's still running against Obama.
That's our commander-in-chief. Mom, did they talk on the news about there's another American that's in Russia trying to get out?
That guy that's been there,
he's in jail.
Oh, there's a new one?
A newer guy.
Oh,
they didn't say nothing? No. Okay. Why would anybody even go to
Russia? Why would you even go to Russia?
I wouldn't have nothing to do with that country.
All right.
Even business. I don't care. Videos, zoom in.
Thank you. Ooh. So we'll see. I want to find out from Nikki Haley. I might even write her campaign and say, is Nikki Haley pro-union or anti-union or against the United Auto Workers Union? What's her stand? Okay. Now, Beaver Teeth, he pretty much said what he thinks.
He's trying to do a Reagan.
He's trying to fire people. And he's a nut job. How are you going to create jobs and fire people?
He's firing them because they're going against the grain.
But yet he wants to create jobs.
He's almost saying, here's another thing too that
That's a great answer to become president of the United States.
Listen to this though. How many people are out of work? How many people that's on that picket line can be replaced?
Well,
we're not talking about AI. We're not talking about the future computers that will do their job. I'm talking about people who are at home, fathers who are going, dang, where I'm going to work.
Why don't you say that? Instead of saying firing people, why don't you say, we got about, I looked in Detroit, I got some statistics here that shows that there's about 20,000 single men or men that are out of work.
That I need work.
I'll fire those 20,000 and let's replace them. Something. Even though that's a dumb thing.
And we'll take the contract that they're not willing to work with and we'll take it. We'll do the $10 an hour. They want 25 or 30. When people start really feeling the pain on even this kind of stuff, it's gonna really hurt.
Now I would even say that's a knucklehead, but at least he would say something other than firing them.
Yeah, a plan.
He's a dummy.
Well, we'll see.
All right. Speaking of dummy, I used to like him too.
Oh, you don't like him no more?
I used to like Elon Musk.
Well, since he put this